But he's playing the trailer there. 4-0 early, Finland Select, the team in white.
A good start here for Finland Select. And a double team and nearly a steal there.
Zane Knowles had the ball in the far post. Got ripped away by a few defenders, but referee Steve Perry all over it, calling the foul. So again, Finland Select, the team in white, 1-1. Head coach Mikko Larkas of the Helsinki Seagulls managing this team. And for D Las Vegas, Lewis Lofton, Director of Player Development for Global Basketball, behind the bench. Long two is missed off front iron by Zane Knowles. So coming out of the pack is Chris Martin. Martin on the side here. Tries to get crafty with the dribbles, losing his handle but still retaining possession. Shot clock here at the Doolittle Community Center in the far corner. So it's hard for these guys to notice that as we have 10 seconds and counting on that. Stopping the dribble outside was Lenjo Kilo, and he tosses it out of play. Turnover for D Las Vegas, still scoreless a minute and a half into this one.
Well, D Las Vegas, their other squad, winning Session A, and then fell yesterday in a hard-fought game to the eventual runner-up, the Southern Stars. Finland Select losing yesterday to the eventual champions, Windsor Express. And what a dramatic championship we just had, Sam.
You certainly mentioned that, Jeff, as the drive and the bump, Jamichael Hawkins, leading scorer for D Las Vegas, 18.5 points a game in these first two. He gets hit on his way to the hole. Product out of southeastern Louisiana, 6'4", 190 is Hawkins. And it's been a tough-fought tournament. Of course, Windsor Express, Scott Newman's squad, coming away with the dub in overtime. By far the most dramatic game we've seen here. Just kick out in a three right here. Hawkins, no good off the rim. Zane Knowles will give it on the second effort. Cannot finish there. Loose ball. Knowles will track it down at the sideline. Fresh 24.
Knowles going without the goggles today, Sam.
You love the old school goggles look, a little Bill Lane beer action there.
The Rec Specs.
Love some Rec Specs. Lenjo Kilo taking that one. Get Rip Hamilton in the game at that point. Why not? Love
that's the whole mask, though.
That we draw a little face mask, too. That's what I'm saying. Add on to it, you know. Aziru, again, he's got 6.
Aziri coming out with a ferocious pace. He's the only scorer in this game so far.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes into this one. 6-0 in favor of Finland Select. And Aziru really struggled these first two games, only averaging 3 a game. He's got 6 early. And there's a 3 ball on the other end. Jamichael Hawkins book it from long range on the triple.
J-Work, as he's affectionately called, getting it done there from the corner.
J-Work gets it done there, so now it's Kenny Hall on the perimeter. A few steps inside the three-point arc, kill air ball. Out of the pack is Hawkins. Hawkins in the open floor with the left. Scoop shot, no good. Follow is good. Zane Knowles on the cleanup.
Knowles in the right place at the right time. Good job there by J-Work to push that ball up the floor after an ill-advised shot by Finland Select.
So we're calling him J-Work all day, I take it. And the shot misfired on that end by Langford, but then the follow. So 8-5. Thank you, Jeff is going out. Daniel Gilman checking in as my color commentator here. So 8-5 in favor of Finland Select. Daniel just completing an interview. So he'll be back here behind the mic.
Oh, I'm here now.
You're here.
Some action. That was an intense championship game.
Cannot be stated enough as Zane Knowles misfires on the mid-range pop. Taking it up floor is Langford and a foul underneath as it was Kenny Hall bruising his way inside.
Zane Knowles showed a lot of size yesterday. He actually played in 2 games back-to-back. That's a lot of stamina, and he looks to be out ready for another one today. Yeah,
that's an interesting point you bring up, Daniel. His first subs of the day are made. Devin Martin of Finland Select, the team's high scorer, 16 points a game for the Maryland Eastern Shore Division II product. So inbounds on the side out from Martin, and he'll give to Miles Coleman. Coleman near side for Dunston, checking in for the first time. Dunston lobs inside to Hall. Hall low block, trying to work on Stotts. Stotts ding him up nicely, but Hall turn around off the glass.
That was impressive. Great footwork. That's always something that I look on for the big men down low, and the guards as well. If they could have footwork, then they could probably get around the defenders.
So Kenny Hall, of course, played at Tennessee, graduated in 2013. As Stotts is going to pop the 3, he can't connect. Second chance from Coleman, inside to Knowles. Knowles is grabbed across the arm as he tried to go up. So they're going to call foul on Shahid Davis. My mistake, actually, Jordan Stotts. Got my numbers mixed up there. But Zane Knowles, all 6'10", 250 of him. That's a big man right there. The Japan B-League is where he most recently played. He'll have 2 foul shots.
Yeah, Jordan Stotts played well yesterday. Got 12 points, 9 rebounds, and for someone that may not be the biggest built, he's got a very lanky body for the 6'10" product. You know, I just don't. Can't say enough about how impressed I am with him.
Yeah, and Stotts checks off the floor right now. Lenjo Kilo getting back into the action, and Knowles swishes both. He's got 4 points early.
Zane Knowles played with Buddy Hield a little bit in the Bahamas. They're both from Nassau in the Bahamas, and he said that Hield's style has actually improved greatly since he played with them 3 to 4 years ago.
Buddy Hield, of course, in Las Vegas right now, playing in the NBA Summer League, so you see him around here. Rebound, and the putback is good. That's Miles Coleman checking in with the bucket. Coleman, right place, right time there. 12-7 Finland Select halfway through this first quarter. And I think the fans here are still recovering from that title game, but now we have a third-place game. Hawkins creating space and misfiring. Kenny Barnes follows it up, and he'll get the friendly roll of the drop. Kenny Barnes, should I say. Too many Kennys and Bigs out of Australia. He gets his first points.
Yeah, Kenny Barnes had a big opportunity yesterday in the end of the game. Came up short, so we'll see if he can bounce back. He had 9 and 7, but a big miss with about a minute and a half left, down 2 against that Southern Stars team that just lost the championship in overtime.
So Devin Martin nowhere near the rim on the 3. He's still scoreless. And Finland Select yesterday, they lost to that Windsor Express team that just won the championship in overtime. They got smoked by them. And part of that, as I was on the call and I was saying throughout, lack of perimeter shooting. We'll see how that impacts him in the third-place contest as the ball is poked out by Coleman. Coleman's got numbers, and he is fouled outside. Barnes getting his arm across, and foul is committed by him.
Yeah, yesterday in that game, Finland Select lost 91-61. They only shot 25% from 3. They only shot 38% from the field total. You can't win games, especially when the team you're playing against shoots 45% from the field.
Poor shooting. That could be an Achilles heel for sure. So Coleman using the Barnes screen. Kicks outside. The drive and dish. Kenny Hall going up and getting fouled.
Hall even looked at his hand there and see if he cut it. We saw Ladarius Tabb cut his hand in Session A on one of his dunks, but Kenny Hall can get up with any of them.
Hall wanted to cock that one back a little bit, launched down a tomahawk, and mandatory media timeout called here. So 12-9, Finland Select, the team in white, up by 3 early on. And Daniel, I know you came on a little late, had to get in a very important interview, which of course will be up online shortly. And that's something that's a really cool story there with James Still. But for you, Daniel, what have you seen early on in this one as these teams trying to follow up what was quite a memorable performance in the championship game?
Yeah, yesterday, Finland Select really struggled down low. They only had one player with double-digit rebounds, and that was Zaru with 10. Everyone else had less than 10 rebounds, 41 total rebounds as opposed to 48 for Windsor Express. So it wasn't like a big rebounding game, but you look at other matchups, and teams are getting 50 to 60 rebounds in a game. Offensively, it's important. Defensively, it's just vital. 10 offensive rebounds for the entire game for Finland Select. We've seen teams get 4 or 5 offensive rebounds in one sequence. So I think they're going to need to dominate the glass in order to win this game.
Got to crash the glass. And one of the coaches in attendance here, Rick McCormick, who currently coaches the school in Oklahoma, he was telling me that, you know, you see a lot in these kind of tournaments, you see the flashy guards going out, but it's important to see which bigs are able to rebound and hold their own down low. So Hall, as teams regain the floor, rattles home the first. Kenny Hall, again, as I just mentioned, out of Tennessee, played for the Santa Cruz D-League team. Of course, the Santa Cruz Warriors, the affiliate of Golden State. Misses on the second.
I checked out Golden State last night in the Summer League, and they could use someone like Kenny Hall. They had a lot of trouble rebounding against the Lakers.
Eric Bethel recently checked in wearing number 1 for D Las Vegas. Missed down low. Devin Martin's going to look to push. Outlet pass, and the finish. Shaheed Davis running the floor for the bucket.
And I'll move back one possession. It's very surprising for me to see Lenjo Kilo miss something like that. He was so efficient yesterday. He's wearing those bright orange and blue sneakers. You can't miss him. But he led the team with 19 points. 3 and 1s that I thought he was going to finish there. He just didn't get the call or finish the basket. Lenjo
Kilo played in Session 1 as well, Daniel. Point streak there. He had 22 points in the game. So he's had an impressive tournament. Kilo, his average is about 10.5 points a game here. So
someone's going to have to drop 60 in order to beat the high that Jesse Morgan set today. He's averaging 26 a game in this tournament after dropping 29 this afternoon in the championship.
Look at the hop, step, and the scoop from Eric Bethel on the other end. So it's D Las Vegas down by 4 now. On the other end, Euro attempt by Martin. No good. Looks like he got poked in the eye.
Yeah, he got poked in the eye.
Bethel transition 3, bucket. Eric Bethel from downtown. And they're going to call that a long two.
Foot on the line, but
long
still
two.
A big shot. And Martin's still struggling in the corner, trying to regain that vision out of his left eye.
And they really need Devin Martin, does Finland Select. He is their primary scorer. Kenny Hall is going to look to work on the floor. He'll kick out to Coleman. Coleman downtown.
And the refs missed a very clear travel there as Kenny Hall's foot slid a good 1.5 feet, but we've seen questionable refereeing, and that's just something the players are going to have to fight through.
Refs, of course, D-League refs and FIBA refs doing training here. George Tolliver overseeing that. Also, Courtney Kirkland, 17-year NBA veteran referee, on hand to provide these referees with training modules and really getting them set as they look to advance in their careers and ultimately make it to the NBA one day. So timeout's going to be called here. And Lewis Lofton having his guys come back into the huddle, telling them to hustle for D Las Vegas. So 18-14 with 2:55 left in this first quarter. Sam Cooperman, Daniel Gilman bringing you the action in a third-place game between Finland Select and D Las Vegas. So Finland Select, of course, the team in white, D Las Vegas in blue. Mikko Larkas of the Helsinki Seagulls, the Finnish first division team, wearing a gray shirt in the huddle there, talking it over with his guys. Lewis Lofton, player development director for Global Basketball. An illustrious career playing in a number of countries, Venezuela, South Korea, Poland, Mexico, all over the map for Mr. Lofton. So he's talking to his guys. And early on, Daniel, we've just touched on it. Important to see big guys holding their own on that low block, and I think we've seen that thus far.
Yeah, and speaking of big men, I just want to reiterate the co-MVPs of this session, Jesse Morgan and Jalen Robinson, who just exploded in that championship game, 29 and 27 for the two. I got to interview them after the game, and it was fun talking to two guys that have played in such big atmospheres. Jalen Robinson led his Dayton team to an Elite 8 appearance 3 years ago, and Jesse Morgan 2 years ago was in the NIT Final Four. So they said that this doesn't quite live up to that, but it's still a very competitive arena, and we've seen that in Session B.
Bethel on the stop and pop, he's got 7, but you just touch on that there, Daniel. And some of these guys at the highest of highs playing in D1, but they're here now trying to get themselves back into a contract situation. Other guys playing at lower divisions as Miles Coleman takes it hard to the hole. He's got 7 as well for Finland Select, who's up 20-16. But some of these guys playing at lower division schools trying to show themselves off to scouts too. So you have guys on both ends of the spectrum.
Miles Coleman has ups. We saw this kid dunk 2 days ago, and he's a friendly 6'1" on the listing. I would say he's closer to 6'5", but nothing like Akil out in that early game who can just dunk from 5'7".
Yeah, Akil Carr, 5'6" probably. I mean, I'm 5'5" and a half, and Akil Carr is right at my eye level, so not a big guy. As the drive and finish there, that's Shahid Davis, hard to the rack. He's got 4. So 22-16 Finland Select. 2 minutes remaining in this one.
If Davis and the other big men for Finland can contribute baskets like that, I think they're going to have a good game. This should be a fun one. I expect Finland to hold on to this lead, but we've seen every lead get blown. 15 points in the championship just got evaporated like nothing.
So tie up down low. That's going to result in a jump ball. Again, we're playing NBA rules here. So some of these college guys that are used to the possession arrow, not here. Yeah, for the most part. Not here, though. We're playing tie up here, so there's going to be a jump ball between the guys that fought for it off the floor, off the misleaner.
If they do go to an overtime period, got a nice 2-minute overtime. Bonus is 2, then double overtime is sudden death.
Yeah, after what we just saw, I mean, I can't put into words what exactly it was. As Coleman's going to come out of it off the tip, contorting his body, and the jersey was ripped.
Yeah,
so Coleman, 2 shots coming up. Again, Steve Perry, he's actually his first game refereeing here. I saw him in the stands during the second game here today. He was taking in all the action. And some of these refs have been here all tournament. Perry just checking in for the first time, and he's going to be reffing this one as he chops it up with Eric Bethel right now, discussing the foul call. First shot was drained by Miles Coleman. He's got 8, Division II product out of Robert Morris, Illinois. Not Robert Morris, the school in Pittsburgh.
The Robert Morris that upset Kentucky in the NIT.
Yep, that Robert Morris. Second one goes home for Coleman as well. He's got 9.
Keith Armstrong from the first session actually played on that team. He said it was like winning the championship when they got home from Providence.
Backcourt violation there. Eric Bethel getting bumped. And you saw his foot hit the line. The referee in position was right on top of it. And Lewis Lofton coaching him up after that. Maybe his positioning was not the best there, as Bethel could have taken that at a different angle to avoid what just happened. So far from the hoop, Perry McLean checking in for the first time. Stop and pop, Chris Martin, too strong. Board chased down by Barnes. Barnes, the big man, is going to take it up the floor. Kenny Barnes dribbling it way far away from the hole. A minute left in this first quarter. Again, 24-16. Finland Select has your lead over D Las Vegas. Third place game. Look at the spin. I think they're going to call it on the floor. Nope. They will give that to him. So.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty by Kenny Barnes. He stopped, spun, faded away, and then a little bit of contact down low was enough to warrant the foul, but he got a clear shot. If you're going to foul someone on a fadeaway, you got to get up in his face and push him.
Kenny Barnes at 6'7", 210. Look at the versatility there. Able to do that one. Foul line jumper. And a pretty stroke on the foul shot as well. He's got 5.
Barnes played in Australia last year where he averaged 16 and 9, so he's got a lot of experience in this international stage.
Chris Martin directing traffic outside. Coleman calling for the ball, doesn't get it. Now it's going to be a post for Azeru. Azeru fighting through the contact, and that's a tie-up. So good interior defense from D Las Vegas to force the biggest man on the floor, Francis Azeru, to have to jump for it.
Yeah, Jordan Stotts, with one of the higher basketball IQs on the court, did a great job there to make sure he got all ball and didn't just slap it away. He held on to it, so now he'll fight. They're not even going to call him with the jump ball. Pardon me, it's going to be, is that Knowles?
It looked like Stotts was there. It doesn't matter as Azeru, the most length, able to tap it behind him. So Langford for a few defenders. Outside, Coleman, the 3-ball. He's got 12. And the new referee, Steve Perry, again, he is all on top of that shot clock, and I touched on it right in the beginning of the game. It is far right corner. The shot clock's located at the Doolittle Community Center. Hard to notice that, and it's tough. So Lewis Lofton here barking out instructions to his team. Again, he was helped out by Darryl Armstrong, Dallas Mavericks assistant coach, former NBA player for a nice long career. Coleman on the run, can't buy the bucket.
Beautiful rebound, offensively flying in by Martin.
So shot clock unplugged as we get towards the end of the first quarter. 10 seconds left. Calling out the play is Trayvon Langston. Las Vegas, Nevada is his hometown. He takes it in, takes it out. Coleman, no good. And Bethel fights for the rebound, gets bumped, no call. And that's going to do it for the first quarter as Finland Select 27-19. Mikko Larkas' club leads as they look to capture this third-place crown.
That was a big man's rebound there offensively. It didn't get it passed inside in time, but we head into halftime, 8-point lead, or head into the first part of me, 8-point lead. But like I mentioned, 8-point leads might as well be a 4-point lead because one turnover, a couple threes, and we're right back in it.
Yeah, and everyone, I think, now has finally had a chance to recover from that title game. And again, if you haven't watched it yet, as much as I love that you're listening to me, you should go back and watch that because that was one of the more special games I've seen in this environment. You had the whole community center rocking, the players that were getting set to take the floor now as they check back in. They were watching that one attentively, but D Las Vegas takes the floor first. Again, the team in blue here in this one. So to start the second quarter, Ahmad Abdullah, limited action today. He's on the court for the first time, 10 points a game, 7 assists a game at North Carolina A&T. Also Hawkins. You see Barnes out there, Kilo, and Knowles for D Las Vegas. For Finland Select, it's going to be Hall, Langston, and the Martins, Chris and Doug, Devin, should I say, my mistake, and Azeru down low.
Oh, Muscle Hamster's here?
Muscle Hamster, yeah.
And don't think that just because this is a third-place game, not the championship, that these guys don't have the same animosity to win the game, the same intensity, because they do.
Azeru showing the touch, can't finish. Goes out of bounds underneath the hoop. So it looks like it's going to stay here with Finland Select. So the trigger man will be Chris Martin under the hole. Offensive foul is going to be called on Trevon Langston as he bumped and bruised his way around the sea of defenders. So it's 27-19 to start this second quarter. First possession ends in a turnover for Finland Select. Outside is Barnes working his way baseline. Up and can't finish, and neither can Knowles on the putback dunk. Oh, and tumbling into the table, Chris Martin. Jim goes silent as you hope he's okay. He fell right over that blue table. And he says he's good. Barnes tapping him on the back, and hopefully nobody had anything important on that table. That was a hefty collision. Martin seems to be fine, though. Again, Chris Martin, you like that hustle out of Savannah State. MEAC player. Second leading scorer on his team at 13.5 points a game.
I think our man Jeff took a little tumble along with Martin. He might be cut up a little bit, but we'll get him some trainer help. Zach will see to is Jeff.
Trainer Zach Kennedy needs to get down here to work on our media team member, Jeff. Jeff giving us a thumbs up.
Jeff, so we're all right.
And on the other end, it's a finish. Ahmad Abdullah cracking the scorebook. He finishes with the nifty layup.
Biggest casualty was bad.
So here we go as Martin gets over half court. The bounce for Langston. Hall hands up. Martin around the curl. Takes a few dribbles in. And it's good. Chris Martin, he finally scores his first points of the day after that tumble.
Oh, offensive foul called here, and Zane Knowles is beyond himself. He didn't even have the ball, and they called him for a running, I guess, screen where he was just kind of getting into the front court. But we've seen a lot of questionable calls so far.
You need to see your bigs here have the attention to detail to not foul when they're gaining position on that block. So in the front court, it's Hall outside. Hall takes a few dribbles in.
I like the ball handling so far from White 8, Kenny Hall from Tennessee. You can tell that he's got some SEC experience.
And there's the post and the finish. Kenny Hall cementing himself down low and finishing on the hook. So he'll have a chance for a three-point play here. Kenny Hall from Stone Mountain, Georgia. We talked about it moments ago. Santa Cruz Warriors former player of the NBA Development League. And a lot of guys here have played in the D-League at one point or another. And Kenny Hall, one of those guys, maybe looking to go back, maybe looking to seek an opportunity overseas. Plenty of scouts in attendance from both of those aspects.
I know Zane Knowles played the last 2 years in Japan. After playing in this tournament in 2014, he told me he's looking to probably go back to the D-League. It's tough for a lot of these guys because some players, like Akil Carr, will make six figures in Italy or China, and then if they want to have a chance at the NBA and play in the D-League, you're going to be making pennies.
So Knowles gets whacked on the shoulder by Azeru, and Finland Select jumped out to a double-digit lead here, 32-21, with 8:25 left in this first half. So now you mentioned Knowles, he's at the foul line for two. And that is part of the problem, because in the D-League, yeah, you have your best chance of making it to the NBA simply by being in a team's organization, but unless you're someone brought down that has signed a contract, you're making $25,000 a year, if not less. Like, it is not the money you expect with the glitz and glamour of the NBA, and especially with middle-of-the-rotation NBA guys getting handed $15 million plus over this past offseason. But at the D-League level, those contracts are still tough, and if you have to support a family, if you support yourself, not easy. But second one will rattle home for Knowles. He's got 5.
Yesterday, Zane Knowles with 12 points on 40% field goal shooting, but did haul down 9 rebounds. So he was a little impressive, but I think he told me he wanted to really shine in this third-place game. He's on his way.
Martin, the jab and spin. Azeru, should I say. He misses, gets his own rebound. He'll shoot it right away. That's short.
I never understood that. He gets an offensive rebound. He gets another chance to make up for his miss, but instead he just pops and takes a long jumper.
Transition 3 pops off the rim. Bumping and bruising his Knowles, can't get the finish. Ball tapped around by a few players. Coming away with it is Abdullah. Fresh 24 for his team. Running point here is Jamichael Hawkins. 3 points on the day. Leading scorer for his team with 18.5. Kilo, straight away, off the iron. And chasing it down is Devin Martin.
Yeah, these offensive rebounds are really being fought for. Balls being kicked, players getting bumped. You saw Stotts go up there against Zaru.
Martin long three is short, and he struggled to find his look, but cleaning up the miss and finishing is C.J. Dunston, and those are his first points of the day. Dunston, actually an interesting story. Division III product at a Lancaster Bible in Pennsylvania. He wants to be a Bible school teacher and also a basketball coach. So I'm sure he's picking the brains of many of the coaches here as the drive and the bump on Jermichael Hawkins.
Yeah, he got 17 and 9 at Lancaster Bible. Very similar to Frankowski. Stephen Frankowski in the last game, he told me he took a year off of playing. He just came back here for some fun before he wanted to coach. He was at Pitt being a graduate assistant trainer and coach overall. He said he might follow his old coach Dixon over to TCU or maybe start from scratch with Kevin Stallings at Pittsburgh.
And Daniel, another guy at Pitt who really showed up in this tournament, Sterling Smith from Session A. He led his team to a championship game win with 23 points, 16 boards. He killed it offensively.
Yeah, he dominated there, and so Sam and I will be talking about him right after this one. We'll go through the Session A recap, followed by the Session B recap. You can catch that online as well. Interviews from all of the players that we talked to online. I had a nice in-depth one with Jason Still, who spent 18 months in prison.
Hall turns around and books it. So that's Kenny Hall right there showing the crafty outside moves. He's got 8 points. So 36-24. And Finland Select maintaining that double-digit lead. Stotts on the outside. You were hyping up him earlier, Daniel. He gives an entry pass for Kilo. Kilo, multi-session player, getting foul baseline and getting a little shove at the end of that play from Azeru, who gives him a little elbow to the gut there. Nothing too harmful, but you can see some chippiness down low between all these bigs in Session B.
Yeah, Jordan Stotts out of the University of Sioux Falls, 11 and 6 there. But Kilo has been the story of this team from my perspective. Out of Savannah State, only 11 points a game, but yesterday he exploded for 19. A lot of them in the second half. So we'll see this team down 12, now down 11. Lenjo Kilo, someone to keep their eye on because he's really the best true scorer that's not a guard.
And Lenjo Kilo swishing the first. And that's his first points of the day. Again, as I just mentioned, played for Point Streak in Session 1. Also with his teammate, Eric Bethel, on that Point Streak team. And guess who coached Point Streak in Session 1? Lewis Lofton, the man on the bench right there, as Kilo knocks down both of the charity stripe. So here comes Martin over half court, matched up with Stotts. Martin bounces for Hall. Hall's going to kick out. 3. Swoosh. Shaheed Davis showing the touch from the outside.
Nothing but the bottom of the net for the UCF product. That's right down the street from where I'm from.
Of course, Daniel, you're from the Sunshine State of Florida. I'm up from New Jersey, so everybody coming to Vegas to catch some basketball this week.
Today's the last day, our final day, day 6 for us, day 3 for Session B, and it's been a fun one, Sam. I think we've been at, 4 games together, 3 games together, me and you?
This is our third together as a misfire there from Mason Archie for D Las Vegas. Archie putting up 15 a game, but he hasn't scored yet today. Martin, hard drive, kick out, Kenny Hall, 3 ball is off the mark. So that's Kilo taking up half court himself. Stotts thinks about it. Few dribbles out, creating space. Now post for Kilo. Shot. Book it. Look at that pretty stroke. Jordan Stotts, Sioux Falls product. He has the touch from the outside.
Big man was 1 for 3 yesterday, so he's got the ability to shoot. Yesterday, Darryl Armstrong told him to not be scared to take the open 3 after he passed up on one later. He made it, and that's the aggressiveness.
Lenjo Kilo, the spin, the twirl, and the finish. And then a steal right there. So Knowles has it. Can he finish at the rim? Yes, he can. So 2 right there. And all of a sudden, Lewis Lofton's team's only down by 6, 39-33. Halfway through this second quarter, a little energy from the bigs will bring you right back into it.
Good old Uncle Mo is a thing of beauty, don't you think? Momentum, and now a missed basket, and they can cut it to 4 or 3.
So we'll see right here off the short leaner. And there's going to be a foul underneath. And actually, no, that is a foul, but then they're going to call the media timeout as well here, mandatory every 6 minutes into this game. So Lewis Lofton giving his guys high fives. And you've seen a little spark out of this D Las Vegas team, down by as many as 13, Daniel, in the second quarter, but energy off the bench from these bigs. It all starts with Lenjo, Kilo, Stotts, Zane Knowles, the guys you just talked about, bringing their team back.
Yeah, and it hasn't even been from the perimeter shot. Stotts make one. But besides that, it's been a lot of driving. We haven't even seen Macy Archie get to the dish yet. He was really good up and under yesterday. Right now, it's a lot of Barnes, and Kilo's been on a run. He's ripped off 4 straight points. Besides that, I'm surprised that the guards haven't shot. Hawkins was lethal from 3 yesterday. Archie can make a mid-range jumper. And Stotts, as we mentioned, can knock down every once in a while when he's open.
It's good to have bigs that can stretch the floor, and that's essential in the modern game of basketball. Of course, we've seen on the highest level what the Golden State Warriors can do when you have bigs that can play all over the floor and not just stay in the post and operate from down there. So the first team to regain the floor is Finland Select. Again, Mikko Larkas' club in an interesting predicament here because really their one game that they have won, they're 1-1, of course, as are both of these teams. They were down by 13 at halftime against Point Streak with a comeback 74-70 victory. But now they're in the driver's seat here, so it's a whole different ball game for a team that really doesn't have a lot of cohesion, just starting to play together. And Langston off the steal, stepping on that sideline. So ball stays at D Las Vegas. Shot clock is going to stay the same here. Referees wanting to orchestrate that. Looking inside was Stotts, but he gets that one taken away. So we'll see what Langston can do with numbers. Now Kenny Hall with the head of steam inside, the tough finish. Kenny Hall cracking double digits as he shows his versatility.
That was so difficult. Not only did he spin, he didn't take another step, jumped up, got rejected by the rim, fouled, and then was still in the air so long that he could just drop it into the net.
The dexterity from the big from Tennessee. One more for him. Nothing but net. So right off of that, Finland Select with an answer, and Kenny Hall has been the man today, along with Miles Coleman. Hall's got 11, Coleman has 12. Knowles can't handle it inside, then taps it back a third time, and there's Zane Knowles with the size. All 6'10", 250 of him is able to tap it back in on the fourth effort.
And here's the battle of the big man after that. Championship game was decided by guards, this third place one being really owned by the centers and forwards.
So can he convert here? Zane Knowles cannot. This foul shot leaks off the side of the rim. Hall in the front court again. We're seeing Hall handle the ball a lot outside, but now it's back to Shaheed Davis. Shaheed Davis trying to play the two-man game. He gets that one swiped away by Kilo, and it's going to go off of Finland Select. So D Las Vegas ball here.
Lenjo Kilo rejected that one beautifully. It actually pointed the wrong way when he was begging the referee for a call. Then realized, wait, I'm wrong, you're right, and was happy the referee gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Gotta love the interactions between players and refs here. Is Eric Bethel, the smallest guy on the floor, 5'10", 160, taking it past a few of the trees, and Kilo mishandles it, but it's going to stay with D Las Vegas.
Yeah, hits off Davis's shoe, and that's hard to miss with those bright yellow sneaks.
Love to see the kicks the guys have on the court here. Is a trio of subs coming back for Finland Select. Going to be Martin, Devin Martin that is, Petey McLean, limited action for him, and the big Azeru, all back on the court. So the inbound's kicked out of bounds. We'll do this again under the hoop. Trigger man here is Mason Archie out of IUPUI. That school has underratedly produced a few NBA talents, probably most notably George Hill, now with the Utah Jazz. So here's Bethel around the screen. He'll stop and pop, and he's got a nice-looking stroke when he's open. Bethel's got 9. He's
been money from that 17 to 20 range, just short of that three-point line, but still enough to count it as 2.
So here's Martin on the other end. He's yet to etch his name in the scorebook, and he's someone that Finland Select needs if they want to maintain this lead. Azeru misses the bunny. Stotts tracks it down. So one-handed pass to Bethel. Look at that nifty feed, and look at the trailer, Zane Knowles, off the bounce and the finish. He's got 11. So it's 42-39.
I was going to say, that was
Las Vegas.
That was almost as pretty of a pass as it was as a finish by Knowles. I thought he got fouled. Could have been another and one. But the bounce pass there, you could hear Lofton yell, "Get it to Zane," and they did so.
So here's Miles Coleman leaking away from the hoop. He can't get it. Archie's going to take it himself up floor. Archie sets himself. He shoots and he scores. Mason Archie, he's now on the board.
It's about time for a guy who dropped 11 and 7 yesterday with 5 rebounds. So he's been all over the court in this Session B. Finally gets a part of the scoring.
Las Vegas was down by 8 after 1, down by as many as 13 in the second quarter, but now they're only down by 2. So here we go, the hop and the wild attempt is no good from Petey McLean. Look at that, another pass from Bethel. That one a little wild, but Stotts is able to control his body, and a travel from Mason Archie. Lofton does not like that call.
I thought Archie should have been selfish there and taken the shot. It was a beautiful pass from Stotts. Instead, that hesitation caused him to travel.
And here we have a timeout on the floor. So 2:07 left in this first half, and it's 42-41. Finland Select still maintaining the lead, but only by a single point. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, Mikko Larkas has usually had to come from behind in this tournament, 1-1 in his efforts in doing so. But now playing with a lead can be tough for certain teams. And again, neither of these teams having much time to work with each other, picking up on tendencies. Simply guys having an hour to practice, guys switching teams and altering teams throughout the tournament for a number of reasons. But Finland Select here, they need to maintain a lead right now. How do you go about doing that with the way they've played the game, Daniel?
I think they're going to have to just try to get the perimeter shooting down. Usually, I usually harp on big men, but right now the big men game has been about equal, and it's been decided by who can hit their threes. Finland Select has had trouble shooting from perimeter. You talked about that after last game, and now coming into this one, I haven't seen them shoot a 3 in a while. Now they turn it over.
And there's Devin Martin fumbling the ball on the inbounds. Sloppy play there, so Las Vegas with a chance to strike and take this lead right here. To inbound, it's going to be Mason Archie again, as I mentioned, out of IUPUI. Referee Steve Perry saying that one's going to have to come from the baseline. And the refs sorting this one out again. They're being overseen by the team of George Tolliver and Courtney Kirkland from the NBA. Long 3 by Bethel is airballed and is ripped away by McLean. Petey McLean fouled in the backcourt. These refs are not letting it go, and it's interesting to see again with these crews not working with each other all that much. Like as I mentioned, Perry, the man with the ball in his hands on the side, this is his first game of the whole tournament. So inbounds comes to Langston. Langston dishes for Azeru. Now the ball work around the perimeter. Under 2 minutes left in this second quarter, 42-41 in favor of White, Finland Select. There's Martin. Can he get his first of the day? He cannot. Loose ball is grabbed by Azeru, and he is hacked on the way up. Francis Azeru leaning down to pick that ball up the floor, and Knowles fouled him on the way up.
George Tolliver, former NBA referee, is overseeing all the refs here. And we saw him in the middle of the championship game lecturing the referees there at halftime and at the end of the third. So they're still in the learning process. They're actually getting graded the same way these players are getting graded by the scouts. Tolliver and his crew are over in the corner on our left, kind of reviewing every single play, so they can't let one slide. If they see something that's a foul, they have to call it. The problem is when they start to get bold and take risks and start making calls that aren't necessarily...
And additionally, the thing is that these refs sometimes go by different rules because you have D-League refs, sure, but you have a lot of guys from FIBA as well, from all over the world, as the second one is drained by Azeru, who's now got 7 points next to his name. But these refs playing in different countries, they play by different rules sometimes, and obviously basketball is basketball, but there are some niches in each game. So here in the front court, we have Kenny Barnes. Kenny Barnes will bounce for Knowles. Knowles trying to use his body to work his way on that low block. He does. The baby hook is bounced off the rim. So here in transition, Langston. Martin has it in the corner. Steps back for Langston again. Lefty 3 attempt. Can't hit. So Kenny Barnes will wisely give it to a smaller player. Actually, he will not. So here we go. The 3 ball is good. Ahmad Abdullah, he's got 5.
Yesterday we saw a lot of Ahmad Abdullah in the point guard position. Today not so much as Archie's taken over there. But a lot of unnoticed rebounds. Jordan Stotts got a piece of one there, which took it away from the hands of the big man Zeru, and it led into Barnes' rebound.
Touch foul on the outside by Kenny Barnes as he grabbed the jersey of the driving player. So it's now 44-43 with Las Vegas in the lead, their first of the day. So look at that. Finland Select, they were up by as many as 13, as I've mentioned, but not able to hold on to it. So now they will have to come from behind. And here was the start. So Petey McLean, the man at the line, he gets his first points of the day as he knocks down the first of two. It's interesting to see how different kinds of coaches manage. Lewis Lofton, very vocal with his team. You see him standing up, talking to refs, yelling. You can certainly hear him as McLean misses, try to chase it down, and they're going to call a lane violation on him. Missed it anyway, so it doesn't exactly matter, but just the formality is Stotts will inbound from underneath, and Lofton calls a timeout. So 43 seconds left. Again, D-Las Vegas up 44-43 in this third-place game here from the Doolittle Community Center. Only one game left after this of the entire Global Basketball Summer League tournament.
And it just breezed by, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy, Daniel. It seems like we just touched down at McCarran Airport the other day, but it's been over a week, and, you know, we're all heading home. The players heading home. Some of the players still staying in the area for additional tournaments. Again, 12 tournaments taking place in the Las Vegas, Nevada area over the course of this week, and the Global Basketball one was the first one to get started. And now, of course, obviously the NBA Summer League and everything in between. Some players sticking around, others flying to different parts of the world. I know Doug Anderson from Session A flew to Asia for a select tournament there as he works his way back into basketball. But as we progress here down the stretch of the first half, what do you want to see? Again, 40 seconds left, 43 to be exact. A lot of momentum could be gained by the end of the first half. What do both teams need to do right here, Daniel?
I think a 2-for-1 opportunity is a must right now for Coach Lofton's team, and he knows it. I think he's a bright enough guy to realize that with 40 seconds left, 20 separates you in the shot clock. So if they can get a shot up in the next 10 seconds, they can get a 2-for-1, and here it is right now.
And here it is, and Abdullah makes him pay for it. He's got 7. So Ahmad Abdullah getting on the board the last 2 buckets. He hit a 3, and now he hits a mid-range 2.
I like when they make me sound smart.
You always want to sound good. As McLean gets it over half court, threading the needle outside. 3 ball from the wing is off the mark, but will be chased down by McLean at the acrobatic attempt to get it to his teammate Langston. So 2-second shot clock, game clock differential here is that shot clock again in the far corner of the court in everybody's peripheral vision right now. So Trayvon Langston looking to work on Barnes. Does not use the Azeru screen. The hop, step, and the crafty finish at the rack. Trayvon Langston, 2 points. Game clock winding down. The floater is good. Look at that teardrop. Ahmad Abdullah is hot to halftime. 9 points for him. D-Las Vegas and Finland Select all tied at 46 points. And we want a game to follow up that championship game. If you've seen anything this second quarter, I don't want to speak now, but we could be heading to something of that effect. It looks like an evenly matched game here for the third-place crown.
How about that? A buzzer beater in the Global Basketball Summer League. We've been waiting for one all week, and we got one. A one-handed runner from about 17 feet out, and Abdullah hits it. 48-46. We head to halftime.
A sweet sound of the ball kissing off the glass. Daniel and I are going to take a breather, but we'll come back for what should be an exciting second half, as now the scoreboard is changed, so it's D-Las Vegas actually 48. Finland Select 46. We'll be right back. Can you mute the mics?
If a kid is not playing in the NBA Summer League, they should be playing in the Global Basketball Summer League.
I love GBSL.
I love GBSL.
I love Global Basketball Summer League.
Global Basketball is a leading media property that delivers precise information and news on its players all across the world.
The Global Basketball Summer League in Las Vegas allows players to showcase their skills in front of coaches, agents, and executives. But the tournament is also a training platform for the NBA officiating department. The GBSL allows referees to develop their skills in a professional environment with NBA rules.
So I've been a FIBA referee since 2011. A referee in the Australian National League. I've been doing that for 10 years.
As we develop ourselves as referees, it gives us an opportunity, especially some of the younger guys, to get into the system, understand the rules, understand the speed of the game.
the Executive Director of Global Basketball, Daryl Reshaw. Daryl, another Global Basketball Summer League just about wrapping up in the books. What do you hope the goal is for all these players that come in here and take advantage of this Summer League?
Get jobs. You know, you have about 130 players in 2 sessions. Had a lot of small college All-Americans. You had players who had pro experience. You had players played at the D1 level. And last year we had about 130 players. 40 kids got jobs directly by being associated with the Global Basketball Summer League.
The global basketball experience really provides us a great opportunity to evaluate our referees in good competition, and the competition continues to get better and better every year.
So it's also a platform for us to get jobs as well, Sean.
That's right, from play-by-play, color analyst duties, reporting, even helping with the entire event on an administration level.
What do you think about the Global Basketball Summer League, and how do you feel? I know you were here last year. How do you feel about this program offering this chance for these players?
I think it's awesome. We probably had 6 guys in our training camp that came through Global Basketball last summer. 2 of them started and played real well for us. Richard and Marty had a nice season, and Tom Granado had a fabulous season for us and was really good.
Much better defense. I mean, on the second half, good attitude. Then we have much more space on offense. We move the ball pretty good. Then we get the open shots. Basketball for me, it's a passing game. It's a team play, and everybody have to be involved on defense and on offense.
Second half of action here from the Doolittle Community Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's 48-46 in favor of the team in blue. That's D Las Vegas, the team managed by Lewis Lofton, the player development director for Global Basketball, and he's got the clipboard in hand, and he's talking to his guys right now. Team in white that just regains the floor is Finland Select, coached by Mikko Larkas of the Helsinki Seagulls of the top league in Finland. So Kenny Hall to inbound and start the second half off. And Daniel, we saw an exciting one in the first game of the championship game here. Now we have a third place game as these teams fight for that. Let's hope for something like that.
You got my words right out of my mouth. I can only hope it's half as exciting of a finish. I'll take a regulation close ending. We don't need to go to overtime. If we do, it's just an added bonus.
We love some free basketball here, as some like to say, as the 4's working on each other. It's Miles Coleman leaning into it. And the rim cooperates. So Coleman right here, he's got 14 points.
Yeah, 7 yesterday. He doubles his total already.
So
Coleman
he gets
out
his
of Robert
team,
Morris, you mentioned.
He gets his team tied up here. As the feed for Hawkins. Hawkins! And they're going to give it to him. Hawkins, the contact and the foul. Look at that. Jamichael Hawkins taking a slap on the arm and draining the 3 in the process.
Yeah, the foul was actually away from the ball, so they're going to count the shot, and then now Zane Knowles is going to go to the line.
That's interesting, because I was going to say that's an interesting call on Hawkins in regard to the foul, but you saw the bump inside is Zane Knowles, the beefy 6'10", 250 big. got hacked.
Is it Bohemian from the Bahamas? Is that what that is?
A Bohemian. We can call him, I guess.
We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that nickname. A little miscue on our part as Chris Martin will direct traffic. So here's Xavier with it far away from the hoop. On the curl, it's Chris Martin. Martin drive, creates space. Too long on the shot. So Hawkins, a man who just hit a three, nifty behind the back move, and Stotts the hesitation and the long pop from downtown.
No, I don't agree with that one. He had an open look for a second after the behind-the-back pass, passed up on it, took a step back, made it a 26-foot three-pointer, and then took it with a guy in his face.
So on the opposite end, we have Coleman barreling his way inside, falling backwards, and not connecting. So here's Hawkins. He'll give to Ahmad Abdullah, who caught fire at the end of that first half and drained a teardrop as the clock expired. He's got 9 points, all in those last few minutes. So Abdullah, a few behind-the-back dribbles. Now penetrating and dishing to Knowles. And shot clock violation. Again, you cannot see this shot clock on top of the basket because the way it works at the Doolittle Community Center, we do not have the shot clocks on top of the backboards operating. It's in the far right corner of this court. So Knowles commits the turnover there as he had to try to pick that one off the ground and lofted it in time.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough whole game for big men. We've seen physicality, and now Stotts.
Not this man. Jordan Stotts. The nasty throwdown. He's got 5 points now. Stotts, 6'8", 225. University of Sioux Falls. So here in the front court, it's Chris Martin. And Martin walked with it, so that's actually a foul off the ball. They're going to give that one to Kenny Hall as he pushed off inside.
And now a run from the visiting Las Vegas team has Finland Select on their heels. Was Finland Select up 9 early in that first half?
They were up by as many as 13 in that first half, but now we have a point where Las Vegas is up by 6. Tried to make it 8, but Kenny Hall will crash the glass. Davis trying to feed the runner inside, and Davis overthrows Azeru. Turnover for Finland Select, and they look good early, but we talked about it. If you can't shoot the rock from the outside, you're going to have a bad time in this tournament.
Yep, and they are having a bad time right now. In the last 10 minutes, they've been outscored by 10 points. Looking at a 2-point halftime lead, now it's 6, a basket away from it being 8.
So using the screen is Abdullah, and now he gives. The mid-range pop is airballed by Archie. So look at that long pass, tipped away, but Martin regains it. Can't finish, but that man can. Shaheed Davis running the floor and stuffing it with 2 hands.
That was a big man's basket there. He followed the Stotts breakaway dunk with his own.
So the ball working outside. Here's Stotts off the dribble to Knowles. He can't finish around the rim.
And that was quite the vision from Stotts to get it over to Knowles.
And there's another throwdown. Shaheed Davis again. He's able to move up the floor in a hurry. He's got 11. Inside taking the contact is Jamichael Hawkins as he was able to throw it up with one hand, and he'll get 2 shots to show for it. So 54-52, a little bit of a mini run here for Finland Select after getting down by 6 points. They've come back with 2 buckets in a row. First one rims out for Jamichael Hawkins. And the first subs of the second half, Eric Bethel, the 2-session player here. Again, having played for Point Streak in Session 1 here for Las Vegas in Session 2. He checks onto the floor. Smallest player listed in this tournament, 5'10", 160. He's a shooter, though, as Jamichael Hawkins knocks down the second. Coleman being up in the backcourt by Bethel. Beautiful screen by Hall. That frees him up. And look at that wing 3. We need shooting, we talked about, and Chris Martin says, yes, sir, I can shoot. He's got 5.
Yeah, long 2, and now we're at a 1-point game, 55-54, and just like that, the home Finland Select team has risen from what seemed to be a lumber of sleep.
A lumber of sleep there, and no sleeping for Azeru. He swats it emphatically off the backboard. And they're going to call a foul on Jamichael Hawkins as he pleads his case to Steve Perry, but Perry His first game of the day, having none of it. So it's 55-54 with the team in blue. D Las Vegas up. So 6 minutes here left in this third quarter. Sam Cooperman, Daniel Gilman have your call in this third place contest, with the winner of here getting that crown. And they have a tough act to follow with Windsor Express and Southern Stars providing the game of the tournament by far in the Session B championship game, with Windsor Express and Coach Scott Newman getting the crown. So Martin hesitates and gives out to the other Martin, Devin. Devin Martin still scoreless, and he will as he passes that up. Coleman, lefty drive, righty attempt. Neither are good. So Bethel gives in motion. It's Abdullah around back to Bethel. Bethel a few behind the back dribbles. Hands off there. That's Hawkins floating through the lane. 3-ball from Abdullah from the right corner. We'll see if they give him a long 2 or a 3. They do give him a long 2. That's 11 for Ahmad Abdullah. First point to the second half.
Now they lead by 3. This is a tipsy-turvy battle, but D Las Vegas continues to hold on.
Low bounce pass from Kenny Hall falls astray. Turnover for Finland Select, and we have a timeout. So second half starting up, and more of what we've seen late in that first. A close game, as you mentioned a lot here, Daniel. The bigs are really pretty even. It's the perimeter players of D Las Vegas that are holding the edge in what's giving Lewis Lofton's club a 3-point lead at this juncture of the game.
Jermichael Hawkins has been lethal from a 3, the Southeastern Louisiana product. He led that school in 3-pointers last year, but on the other side of things, we've seen Coleman step up. We've seen Davis with back-to-back dunks, and they don't need the 3-point shooting as much as D Las Vegas needs it, because right now Zane Knowles can't finish. Stotts has only been able to follow through on wide-open layups or dunks, and honestly, Lenjo Kilo has let me down. I hyped him up. I thought he was going to be in a big riches today, embarrassment of riches in terms of size and skill, but right now he's got, 2 points, 4 points?
And again, D Las Vegas, some might call them, in a way, the most fortunate team of this tournament in the fact that they've had a guy who's currently an NBA assistant coach and a wealth of NBA playing experience, and Daryl Armstrong behind the bench with Lewis Lofton for Game 2. So you have 2 guys with so much playing experience. They've gotten to learn a lot, and they look to capture a third-place crown in the process. So there's the entry for Kilo. He tries a jab step, takes it on 2 defenders. Can't go up strong with that.
Good no call there.
Martin outlet and 2 players on the same team fighting for it. And right there as Kenny Hall takes a tumble. He was battling with his own teammate, C.J. Dunstan. It looks like Dunstan was in position first, but Hall wants to run a little seam route there to catch that one in motion, but should have let Dunstan take it. And that's another turnover for Finland Select.
Happy Hall's okay. We've seen a couple tumbles in this one.
So Bethel stopping his dribble outside. So Jermichael Hawkins working on Martin. Lobs inside for Barnes. Barnes at the foul line. Bumping and bruising, spinning. Can't get the bucket. So here's Martin looking to run a little bit. Again, Devin Martin, leading scorer on this Finland Select team with 16. Yet to score in this one, and he makes me eat my words. There's a floater off glass.
That one was pretty. I thought he had no angle, and he still went off the glass and banked it in.
There's a reason why he's one of the best players on his team at Maryland Eastern Shore. Fun fact, his big, Azeru, also played with him at Eastern Shore. As sealing off space inside is Kenny Barnes, and Barnes got wrapped around the arm, so that's going to be a side out for his team, D Las Vegas. Players on Lewis Lofton's club calling out a set player on their own as Abdullah inbounds for Bethel. So 4 minutes left here in this third quarter, 57-56. Team in blue out in front as the dunk is botched right there. Martin feed inside, ball working around quickly, and Kenny Hall is able to put it up and in. Hall's got 13. That's his first bucket of the second half. And now Finland Select back out in front, 58-57. So here we have Abdullah, a few steps in, and a jumper. Can't make the rainbow delivery.
Now they're off and running. We've seen them in transition a lot.
And that's a transition 3 that's too strong from Chris Martin. And here we go, the lob, can he finish? Wisely taking it back down is Kilo. Now the ball swinging around the perimeter. Hawkins off front rim.
So very tough for these players to convert to the three-point basket.
That basket missed, but tracked down by Hall, and Hall can finish with the left hand. We've seen him a little ambidextrous out here with 15 points.
Hawkins would have drilled that in college, but now a good 3 feet further behind, he's got to work on it.
And there's a push off the balls, and referee Perry again, all on top of that. And timeout's going to be called here is after the break. Jordan Stotts will check back in for D Las Vegas. So it's 57-60. Finland Select the team with 60 out in front by 3. They were down by 2 at halftime, and they were up as much as 13 in this game. But, Daniel, what has changed in this third quarter for this Finland Select team to be able to come back a little bit with D Las Vegas starting off the quarter hot and Finland Select bumping them a little bit, and now they're up by 3?
It's been a lot of the transition game. So far, they've I can't even describe it. It's not that they're out bumping them, they're out running them. Their stamina is keeping up while the D Las Vegas looks tired and exhausted. And when they try to run it, we've seen the two guys bump into each other on Finland Select, get back up, get down, get a basket after, was that Kenny Hall bumped into, who was that? Langston.
On his own team. On his own team, CJ Dunston. They were both fighting for the same ball there. There was a little bit of a collision, but luckily both players are okay. But you mentioned players being able to endure themselves throughout the game. D Las Vegas with one less player. They got 8 on the roster. Finland Select with 9. So not a huge difference, but in a game with this style, that could be a factor. So ball swings around off the timeout.
Great passing.
Great passing, but not great shooting there. That's an air ball. So Finland Select won't be able to run. They're going to have to inbound.
And you can even see the face of CJ Dunston there. He was upset that there was a shot clock violation called. He was ready to pass it full length, get an easy bucket. Now they're going to have to work out of the formation. They're up 3 with 2.5 left in the third.
A lot of teams in this tournament like to run. Finland Select one of the lower scoring teams, actually, in this tournament. So Martin stopping his dribble. Gives to Chris Martin. Chris Martin, the pump fake, and the shot is short, but the foul.
And that was a bailout there by Mason Archie. The shot was already taken by Ahmad Abdullah.
Yeah, the shot was taken. That's Chris Martin for Finland Select.
Martin, pardon me.
It's all good, Daniel. A lot of players switching teams, and it's tough to identify players in this tournament. But as Martin heads the line for 2, Archie, the man who was the culprit on the foul, who's scored a lot of points in this tournament, leading his team with 18.5 a game at a Southeastern Louisiana. That's actually my mistake. Archie's out of IUPUI. JaMichael Hawkins out of Southeastern Louisiana. But Archie only 2 points in this game, so he has not been
Indiana,
cooking.
Pennsylvania, Indianapolis.
Yeah. Yeah, say that 2 times fast. And the second one knocked down. It's Chris Martin draining it. He's got 5. So Bethel going to orchestrate the offense. Thinks about running into a 3. Instead, it's going to be Stotts on the perimeter. Stotts back to Bethel. Bethel on the bounce for Barnes. Barnes inside. Easy finish. Mason Archie. That was creative. He's got 4.
Back to a 2-point game now, and we're going back and forth here, Sam. It's going to be a bumpy ride for the next 12 minutes.
Bumpy ride indeed. It's 61-59. Finland Select in front by 2. And the ball is thrown off the foot of JaMichael Hawkins. And the shot clock is going to need to be fixed here off of that. Of course, 3 seconds added on to that to make it at 14, which is what you get after a kick ball in the NBA. So a side out for Finland Select here. Triggerman is going to be Petey McLean checking back into the game. Zeru, a few jab steps on Stotts. He wants somebody to move, calling for a cutter. Dunston finally takes it near the arc. A few steps in, and they're calling an offensive foul. That's on Azeru, and Azeru, again, not liking the call. Francis Azeru, a raw player, you would say. He scored as most of any of his games here in this one with 7. Was averaging 3 before that, and he struggled mightily in the team's semifinal game yesterday against the winners in this tournament,
5
Windsor
fouls.
Express. Stotts downtown, bricked it. So here comes Langston. Langston, the nice bounce. McLean tried to get a little fancy with it, and his Aru couldn't catch it. So now we have transition the other way, and that's a slam. Machen, Archie, elevation. He's got 6.
That was a good job. There was actually a 2-on-0 there as 2 men leaked out. That was Bethel and Archie. And Archie took it himself. Great outlet pass there.
Misfire on the shot by Langston. So coming away with this, Hawkins. Hawkins one-handed a little too far for Bethel, and Bethel will crash into the padding behind the basket.
Yeah, that one was unfortunate because there was another opportunity for a 2-on-0. Not getting back Finland Select, and it's costing them. They've blown a 6-point lead, and we're all tied up with 50 seconds left in the third.
So Langston getting past a little bit of pressure applied by Bethel. So it's Devin Martin outside, all knotted up at 61. As you mentioned, Dunstan from long range can't hit the tray. But fresh 24 coming as it's Langston tracking down the rebound, coming right to his fingertips. So we'll see what he can do. Is clock being worked around here. D Las Vegas will have the last shot of this quarter if they play their cards right. Martin contorting his body and floating it in. So Devin Martin's got 4 points.
It doesn't look like they're going to hold it. They got 15 on the shot clock, game clock, none on the shot clock.
And we'll see what they do. Stepping into a 3 is Hawkins. He gets bumped. He wanted to make that. You hear that on the mic, but he's got 3 coming. So he could have had a chance at a 4-point play, but a nice-looking stroke we've seen from Jamichael Hawkins. He's got 9 points, and this is the man who I was talking about out of southeastern Louisiana. Again, 63-61, Finland Select, the team that has a 2-point lead. Make it 1 point as that toilet bowl shot goes in. 10 points for Jamichael Hawkins.
Jamichael Hawkins was a 40% three-point shooter at southeastern Louisiana. He dropped 17 yesterday, had a good game.
First 2 are good for him. Now he's got 11, so can't foul a jump shooter from behind the arc, and Hawkins going to make him pay.
Yeah,
so
84% from the line also, while he averaged 9 and 2 with southeastern Louisiana.
So Martin taking the contact pass half court as he looked to use the shoulder to get by Eric Bethel. Bethel not planting his feet. So now it's 4 seconds left in this third quarter clock. Now D Las Vegas has gotten back up by 1 after Hawkins got fouled. This was a good foul here, so let's see if Martin can capitalize. Martin, no good, and that'll do it for the third quarter. So Devin Martin misfiring as the clock expires. 64-63, D Las Vegas up by 1 point. We got 1 quarter to go here, and we could be on tap for a fun finish here down the stretch in the third place game between the team in blue, D Las Vegas, coached by Lewis Lofton, Finland Select, Mikko Larkas. The two right teams were in the championship game. I'll tell you that much. Easily the 2 best teams here, stacked on all levels, as Windsor Express and the Southern Stars battled out in an overtime thriller. But these third and fourth place teams aren't half bad either. This Session B is a real fruitful crop of talent. And Daryl Reshaw, the man in charge of global basketball, was really hyping this up to me at the end of Session A. He was saying, you ain't seen nothing yet, because Session A was a fun one, some high flyers, some dominant players. Sterling Smith, who we talked about, with a stellar championship game to win the title for that D Las Vegas team in Session A, coached by Ricky Cleveland. But we have a whole new animal in Session B, and this has been exciting.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, we were calling Session A's championship game, and while there were 2 talented teams, Smith led Las Vegas to that one. This entire top 4 in Session B are more talented. A lot more big men, which is not the fault of the Session A guards, but the guards here are benefited more by bigger men.
So Bethel around the off-ball screen. He gets doubled, has to get out of it. Here is Archie for Stotts. Corner 3. But the finish. Mason Archie cleaning up the mess.
Now the lead is 3. And a beautiful pass by Stotts. He's not going to call that one a shot when he tells his friends that was a pass.
I think our scoring crew here will see that differently, but hey, he'll say it's a shot, and that's all that counts for his sake. And Stotts botches that one as he tried to get the rebound and just slips out of his hands. That's going to be another possession for Finland Select.
It's frustrating when it's just Barnes and Stotts back there, and Stotts bumbles it.
Quick shot from Chris Martin. Book it. Chris Martin curls around and drains the mid-range shot.
So now it's a 1-point game back again. And we're cooking. 9 minutes left in the fourth.
We'll see if these teams can trade baskets some more as Bethel works his way inside. Now back out for three. Gets around Shahid Davis. Now kicks out Archie. Rattles home. Mason Archie. I said early he needs to get going, and now he's in double figures with 11. So D Las Vegas up by 4. Finland Select going to try to answer. Miles Coleman. Acrobatic finish. 69-67, D Las Vegas, the team leading this one. Again, early in this fourth quarter, we've seen a minute and a half go by. Straight up shot is good. Kenny Barnes buries it.
And these teams just trading buckets here. Not much defense so far. Should change with this flurry of substitutions. 71-67 now is the score. A low-scoring game here. As we've seen D Las Vegas score 198.
Miles Coleman, the leading scorer in this one, with 17 as an uncontested finish for him with the left hand. Again, Coleman leading for Finland Select as Stott's drive can't finish but is fouled. But on the other end, Jamichael Hawkins, he's got 12. Archie with 11. Knowles with 12. So really an array of scores for D Las Vegas. Miles Coleman really taking over for his squad here. And 2 shots coming Stotts' way.
The champion Southern Stars actually gave Windsor Express a scare at the end of overtime. I thought it was going to be over as Windsor Express went to the line for free throws. We saw the MVP, Robinson, miss both. So free throws are going to be big coming into these last 7 and change, 7:53 left.
And Daniel, we'll get the crowd excited for what could happen if we reach a double overtime scenario. Just for having a little fun here as we have some subs, take us through what happens in a double overtime scenario.
It's as simple as first team that scores wins the third place title. And let's just hope we don't get there. I don't want an entire match to be decided by one basket, kind of like how I don't like how in soccer all 120 minutes are decided by a couple kicks.
I suggested college football kind of rolls as Coleman steps into a jumper and misfires. Hall will collect the second chance effort. There's McLean. The tough drive and the tough teardrop. P.D. McLean, his first bucket of the day, he's got 3 points. But, you know, college football, the team that wins the coin toss, they can go first or go second. And you give teams a chance to answer on a possession. That could be a fun little kink to this matchup. But it's all in the essence of time. You got to get 4 games on the floor in limited court time as a touch foul on the perimeter. As Machen Archie.
Overtime's 2 minutes, as we saw in the championship game. The bonus is only 2 fouls. We saw both teams get into that bonus. But at the end of the game, instead of giving it to the hot hand to Jesse Morgan, we saw DeAndre Scott try to take the game-tying 3. It didn't go, and that was all she wrote.
Nice pass inside by Knowles. Lenjo Kilo gets it knocked away from him. It's going to stay with D Las Vegas, though. 3 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. It's 73-71 with D Las Vegas out in front by 2. Driving baseline is Archie. Takes the contact and gets hacked.
Two shots here from Mason Archie. Archie, guard from Indianapolis. Went to Indiana Purdue. Transferred from Davidson over to Indiana Purdue. Averaged 5 and 3 at IUPUI. Did have 16 yesterday. I'd say he's having a little less success this afternoon.
He has, at least in the first half, but second half, Archie has really put in some work as he only had 2 points in that first half, but since then, he's scored now 10 as he's got 13 etched next to his game in the system. So the game clock was not started. The refs are going to halt this one right here as the trailing referee was all over it. So the game clock's going to have to be reset, and it's going to result in an inbounds. Lewis Lofton traded some words with the scoreboard operator right here. All in good fun here as Coleman works around a few defenders, now gives out for Chris Martin. Martin rolling it to Davis. Shahid Davis spinning in the hole. Foul on the floor. That foul is going to be charged to Kenny Barnes. And again, you can't foul out in this tournament.
I think you can. I think 10. We saw Paulin Pauly foul out in the championship with 10 fouls. So I think that answered that question.
Well, at least
no big men, and Windsor Express still won it. James Stills, their 6'11 center, couldn't play because of knee stiffness. They lost their 6'10 center because of fouling out late in the regulation, so they didn't have a center in overtime. They still won it because of some clutch shooting from Troy Norris, and then, of course, 27 points from Robinson.
It's hard not to still be really emotionally invested in that title game. As you see here, Daniel's still hyped about it, and I am as well. It was so much fun to watch as Shaheed Davis will hit all sides of the rim and bottom. He's got 12. 75-72. Second one is good as well. So 13 for the Central Florida product. Ahmad Abdullah directing traffic now as he's D'd up at half court by Miles Coleman. Fends off Coleman and gives for Barnes. Barnes trying an array of moves, lofting away from the basket, and he got fouled in midair. So Kenny Barnes, 6'7", 210, and he showed his ability to put the ball on the floor right there.
Yeah, and he really excelled yesterday, of course, out of Fullerton College. He's another one of those from the Caribbean, Virgin Islands, St. Thomas from Kenny Barnes. He plays bigger than his 6'7 frame. He's a 210 forward, but every once in a while, he can back down a 6'8", 6'9 guy and kind of work in the post. We saw him there and get to the line. Of course, a good free throw shooter.
It's back on the floor, Devin Martin and Francis Azeru for the team in white Finland Select. One more shot for Kenny Barnes.
Yeah, free throws are going to be key here. 6 minutes and 30 seconds now, 4-point game, 77-73.
That is your scores. It's still D Las Vegas maintaining a 4-point lead. So the Martins trade possessions with each other. It's Devin leaning past two defenders. Zeru, hands of steel right there, not able to hold on to the ball.
Someone's got to help him out with the shot clock. There's only 1 second.
And he gets it off but can't finish on the interior.
No one was telling the shooting guard there, Martin, how much time was on the shot clock.
So here we go with Archie bouncing for Kilo. We talked about Lenjo Kilo early in the game, a multi-session player here. Hasn't produced yet as Ahmad Abdullah darting his way inside and staying in midair to finish.
I like that. He was darting his way inside. He was picking his moments and weaving in. Eventually got between this flurry of skyscrapers and rose to bring it in. 6-point lead.
79-73. It's D Las Vegas still out in front. Finland Select tries to answer. Chris Martin book it from the far corner. That three ball will give Martin 10 as he cracks double digits here. Mason Archie trying to work his way inside. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Zay Knowles. Knowles doesn't like the call. And media timeout here. So it's 79-76, and Zay Knowles asking his teammates if that is a foul. But at least from our vantage point, I'd say these officials have been pretty on par today. And they're all over this clock as they're having it reset right now. And that's important because global basketball tries to be as professional as you possibly can be with real refs from the D League working their way to the NBA. You have so many NBA personnel on tap here today. They're watching, taking it all in, really trying to make sure this is done as smoothly as possible. And with so many camps in the area, I think global basketball is doing a good job of cementing itself in here. And we've seen the talent that's flurrying in. There's a reason for that. These guys want to play, show themselves off, get some contracts, and the stands, while they're not full, the people in the stands carry some merit. Yeah, they have guys that could help them get paid with that next contract, whether that be catching on with the D-League roster or playing overseas.
Yeah, you met up with the Houston Rockets scout today, 20-year scout BJ.
Yeah, BJ Johnson. He just got a chance to talk to him. His ball's fumbled with around the rim. Miles Coleman coming away with it. So Coleman trading passes with his teammate Chris Martin.
Martin really slowing down the pace here.
Yeah, Finland Select. They're at their best when they're playing slow, and look at that sweeping move. Shaheed Davis now has 15.
For a team that no one scored over 11 in that blowout loss to Windsor, Finland Select starting to put the pieces together here.
So here we have Knowles handling it way outside. Abdullah trying to figure out what to do with it. He'll give it a Kilo. who really put some weight there into Devin Martin, but Martin stood his ground, and he's got a charge drawn to show for it.
Yeah, he's got a ton of weight, or should I say a kilo of weight, on Martin there, and he showed it there, but unfortunately Martin took a brunt of it and drew the charge.
And now it's 79-78, so Finland Select, every time D Las Vegas has tried to pull away, they've stayed right back into it, and tight ball games are exactly what you want to see here in the home stretch of this tournament. So the Martins again trading possessions on the exterior. So here's a little two-man game. Chris Martin's going to pop away. No good. But cleaning it up. And hesitation move in the finish. C.J. Dunston, he's got 4. Dunston, a lengthy player, 6'5", 200. And that's the frame of a lot of guys in this tournament. You have those 6'4", 6'5", tweener players who you want to be able to play multiple positions. As that one pops out from Abdullah. Here pushing is Chris Martin. Gets by Bethel. Can't get by Kilo as Kilo is able to get a hand on it. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. It's Miles Coleman. He's going to work on Kilo. Coleman, a few crossovers here. Look at that move. Oh, and Kilo, but he did reach inside. But Lenjo Kilo is able to stop him in his tracks. Does commit the foul. 2 shots coming Miles Coleman's way.
1 point game, 3:30. Is this all you wanted, Sam?
This is exactly the kind of game you want to be on the call for, and Daniel, you and I are as privileged as any to be able to do it. Knock on wood there, I love it. I don't think this table is the consistency of wood, as Coleman can't hit there. Miles Coleman with 18 points today, again out of Robert Morris D2 product, not the Robert Morris of D1. So one more for Coleman. I like Coleman. He has a little Kevin Durant-esque shake at the line with his shoulders, and he'll drain the foul shot.
He's having a game to remember.
Yep, 19 points for Miles Coleman, arguably the most impactful player on the floor, with the guards being so important. Eric Bethel, all 5'10", 160, barreling into the hole, takes it to the tin, and he gets fouled. 3:25 remaining, and Finland Select up by 2. Finland Select was up by as many as 13 early in the second quarter, but Lewis Lofton's club mounted a quick comeback. We're actually up by 2 at halftime, 48-46. And Eric Bethel now has cracked double digits with 10. But really, since that early deficit for D Las Vegas, we've seen a back-and-forth game throughout, and it's been fun to watch, as you just mentioned, Daniel.
Yeah, the league keeps changing hands as it's back to a 1 point game in the Doolittle Community Center. This is our last game of the call. There's one more after this with Nick and Andy. That'll be the 5th place game, 81-80.
Dynamic duo of Nick and Andy will be on the call for the next one as misfire from Chris Martin. Resets the shot clock here on the second chance attempts. Coleman's going to take it inside baseline. Martin, book it on the snap pass. Devin Martin showing the range. He's got 7.
Devin Martin cooler than the other side of the pillow there.
R.I.P. Stuart Scott there, and I love that one. So Bethel crossover, and he gets it to himself. That should be a travel, and the scoreboard needs to be fixed. A few things going on here. Miles Coleman gets smacked to the floor, but that last 3 from Devin Martin was not put on the board, needs to be put on the board.
84.
That was certainly a 3, and that should be fixed by the score officials here. Should be 84-81, but it's still not being done. We'll see when that will be done, as it's still got to get situated
84 right
with.
now for the home team.
Daniel doing his best from our side of the table here, as we're trying to alert them ourselves. I will hang on a second, help him. It's 84-80. That was a 3. 84-80, guys. Wait, 84. Yeah, 84-80. So
2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the third place.
That's it. Changing roles here. I'll retake my place on the broadcast. We'll go back to that. But we're trying to get things all sorted out here at the Doolittle Community Center. And while the officials do that here, Daniel, 2:40 as you mentioned down the stretch here. 84.
It was 80. It was 81-80,
and
followed
Daniel,
by a 3-pointer. 84-80.
Yeah, 81. Yeah, so it should be 84.
And they hit a 3. Whatever.
and we're getting it all sorted out, and there's still some miscommunications. We try to do our parts here, but we'll reset this game for you.
That's a mistake. That's a big mistake unfortunate for Finland Select, because they had 81 points.
And if
then they hit a 3.
And I'm positive from my point that was 84.
Whatever.
And it looks like some people beg to differ. Mikko Larkas, the head coach, pleading his cause. And Steve Perry says it's 84. I say it's 84. Daniel said it's 84. We all say it's 84. I think there's some retaliation for the other end, but we'll do our best to stay out of this, and let's see the referees get this 84-81. Steve Perry says that's what he wants. That's final, and that's what we're going to get. So Finland Select up by 3 here after that wild sequence of events, Daniel. 2:40 left. We're getting an exciting one down the stretch like we talked about. And, you know, we can only do so much.
Lots of controversy here now, and we've got an elongated timeout.
Yeah, and we'll see if these teams, as you mentioned, can take advantage of that, you know, lengthy, unofficial timeout. So now, player from the bench saying you should go by the scoreboard, but that's not the case. If, you know, we've seen, if the scoreboard's not right, it's not right. You always need to keep score yourself, and the referee saying final 84-81. That's what it'll be. So 3-point ball game.
It was 81-80. Then a 3-point shot was made by Devin Martin. That is confirmed. But then when they came back on the other side, did he make both free throws? That's the question.
On the other side, for D Las Vegas, he made both free throws.
So it should be 80-42 then. Shouldn't it be?
It was 79 going into those foul shots. So
was it? Okay, it was
81 is the right score.
Okay. So
I guess I originally said 84-80. We're all getting a little crazed here, but 84-81 is the right score. So we'll reset things here. 2:34, 84-81 in favor of Finland Select, the team in white, after that Devin Martin 3. So here's Chris Martin.
And there's no doubt from that Devin Martin 3, too. It was deep, if you remember that one. Another one.
Yeah, that was money, and so is this one. Trayvon Langston, the lefty 3 attempt, cocks it back and loads. He's got 5.
No doubt about that 3, and now it's 87-81.
Langston reached in and pokes it out of play. And now we have a shot clock reset. So, you know, some people that don't like the game of basketball, of course, we're not amongst those people. We're here, but some people don't like the way the game really is so long down the stretch. And with that little miscue, that's going to be a long last few minutes here, as Knowles is good.
Yeah, nice spinning 10-footer from the middle of the key, and now it's a 4-point game.
So 87.
Zane Knowles has been quiet the last couple minutes.
If you like to go with by what Rasheed Wallace once famously said, ball don't lie. And we'll see who comes out with this one is Martin spinning his way inside and getting bumped. And we'll see if they give that in the air. Martin saying he was shooting. They're giving that to him. And I don't know about that one. I don't think he was in the air, but he's getting 2 shots. And I don't think these referees are going to want to hear it from many people for the rest of this game. I think they just want this one to play out. So again, just to reset that little miscue that we had that stopped this game, so I'd say a 2.5-minute unintentional timeout, is that there was a 3-ball from Devin Martin of Finland Select that was scored a 2, and then nothing but chaos. But here, Martin on 2 foul shots, he's got 8 after that one goes home. 88-83 when the scoreboard gets reset. Hasn't done so yet. And the last thing we want is another stoppage right now.
88-83.
Oh, man. Mikko Larkas has to alert them at the scorer's table. Second chance effort from Dunston, contorting his body all sorts of ways with the righty hook. So he's got 2 shots.
Chance to make this a 3-point play after the made first free throw, missed the second offensive rebound, and now he gets back to the line. He earned that one.
What a sequence of events we've seen here in the last minute and change, as the first one rolls around and in for C.J. Dunston with 5 points to his name. Lancaster Bible College in Division III ball for Dunston, who hits both. So 150, 7-point lead for Finland Select, the team in white. Let's have some fun here. Poked away, but a foul is called. C.J. Dunson slapped Jordan Stotts on the hand. Mikko Larkas saying don't reach for the ball, because again, you don't want that in this kind of game. You don't want teams to be able to reload and reset their offense.
Coach
off
Lofton
ticky-tack
saying
fouls.
the game's not over. Devin Martin saying, yeah, it is, Coach.
You love a little back and forth between the players and the coaches. So it's Archie outside, hand in his face, no problem. Mason Archie from downtown.
4-point game now, 130. They need a stop and a pop.
Archie's got 15 after we talked about his slow first half with only 2 points. Around the screen is Langston. Flip for Martin. Martin in rhythm.
Ooh, would have been
no
a dagger.
Good. Yeah, he would have gone wild after that. Is coming out of the pack is Archie. Mason Archie steps into a 3.
Oh, that one was like a line drive. He knew it right when it came out of his hands.
A little flatliner there from Mason Archie. So a minute remaining. Devin Martin is going to orchestrate the offense. Kilo picking him up far away from the basket. Kilo with those long arms trying to stop Martin in his tracks. Hall sets the screen. He rolls, catches baseline, and turns it over.
Hawkins with a beautiful interception there. He just read the eyes like a book.
So Lewis Lofton wants him to run a play. He wants Stotts to get it on the wing. He'll get it, and Stotts can't connect as he dial up a 3. So it's out of bounds. Finland Select ball. Mikko Larkas says timeout to go over the last 44 seconds with his team. So it's 90-86. Finland Select has a 4-point lead here in the third place game of Session B of Global Basketball Summer League in Las Vegas at the Doolittle Community Center. Sam Cooper and Daniel Gilman will take you down the stretch here, and we wanted a fun one. This constitutes as a fun, crazy ride.
And, you know, I think I'm going to go out a little bit on a limb here and say that I would foul. You're down 4 with 44 seconds left, and some players and coaches would like to play it out, but if you wait 24 seconds, you get down to 20 seconds, and even if he misses, you still have to get 2 possessions. If you foul, and even if he makes both free throws, you have about 40 seconds to make 2 baskets. You hit a 3, and it's a 3-point game, then you can play defense. But the odds of him making both free throws are low. We've seen low free throw shooting. Last game from this Las Vegas team, they only shot 65% from the charity stripe. So I would foul here. And, pardon me, Finland Select shot 56% from the free throw stripe, so I would foul here if I was Coach Lofton.
And it seems like a majority of teams in this tournament have struggled at the foul line, and that is something as scouting for you, head coach Gil Kislyak told me, is the inbounds here and the pressure. And that one's almost ripped away there. Mason Archie is able to tap it out of play, but as Gil Kislyak was saying, at the professional level, shooting poorly from the foul line is unacceptable as a team.
Unless you're DeAndre Jordan.
Even so, we've seen that come back to bite him a few times as Martin is able to get it with some room up floor. It looks like they're going to press here. Martin gets it with room and over to Hall. Kenny Hall rocking the rim. He gets some high fives from his teammates, and there's no doubt about his verticality. Look at that one.
Aggressiveness came back to bite him. Now it's a 6-point game, 30 seconds.
So Hawks is going to come off the screen. No good for Hawkins. Ball tapped to Martin to himself. And he's fouled as he was close to that baseline. Ahmad Abdullah, the man that wraps him up.
Now we'll play the foul game.
Now that foul game will be played. It's a 92-86 Finland Select. 23 seconds left. So the shot clock no longer a factor in this contest. We mentioned Finland Select's questionable foul shooting. You said 56% last game, and Chris Martin's going to look to not do that, but he bricks the first. And at the end of a game, it doesn't matter what level of basketball you're at, you got to hit your free throws. If you can't do that, you know, you're going to have a bad time.
What's the point of playing the last 39 minutes if you can't make the free throws with 30 seconds left?
It's a fair point here, Daniel, but second one no good for Martin as well.
So it's still a ball game, 6-point game.
D Las Vegas going to hurry here. Ahmad Abdullah taken into a sea of defenders, and he'll drain it. So Abdullah with 15, and he makes the late game bucket. Now his team only down by 4 as Langston is quickly fouled. 15 seconds left on the scoreboard at the Doolittle Community Center. One game after this, the 5th place game will be played, and our guys Andy and Nick will have that all for you. And if it's anything like these last two games, you're in for a fun one. See what happens down here is Langston.
Man.
Nobody hitting their foul shots. Since you said that their foul shooting has been suspect, Daniel, Finland Select has gone 0 for 3.
They should have fouled him with 44 seconds left, down 4. They let Kenny Hall leak out for the open dunk. This could have been a whole different ballgame. Now they got 15 seconds. That's why I'm not playing it out.
Foul him with 2 minutes left if we're going by these numbers. But Langston will convert there. He's got 6.
They don't need a 3. They need a 2. Just get it a 3-point game.
And Abdullah is going to drive it between the defenders. He does kick out for 3. Hawkins has room. He can't hit. Ball being tapped around. And it goes out of bounds with 4 seconds left. Blue's going to have the ball, so that's D Las Vegas.
4 seconds. They need a quick 3, a steal, and another one.
And a really quick 3. And timeout here by Lewis Lofton. He'll draw something up, but it looks like it's going to be...
I love the trash talk. Devin Martin goes, hey, Coach, you going to drop a 5-point play right now?
And it's nice to see these players are enthused about a game like this. And, again, all these players on both teams, they're into it right now, but you can see the overall camaraderie with the teams in terms of tendencies. It's a little tough with limited time, but these guys are all trying to make it. These guys all have the same goal.
Yeah, Jesse, go ahead.
Different players go about doing it different ways here, but Finland Select is 4 seconds away from capturing the third-place crown. They're up 93-88.
Jesse Morgan, who's the co-MVP, I'm going to squeeze this one in before the play starts, a co-MVP and the leading scorer this entire session, told me he didn't get his goal. He didn't win the MVP. He didn't win the championship, and he fell short.
Strive for greatness. Hawkins pops into it. He gets it. Dunstan in his face. Inbounds goes to Finland, and that is all she wrote. But let's see if they call a foul. Lewis Lofton throwing his arms in exuberance. It's over. 93-91. Finland Select coming away with it. Lofton wanted the foul call, but I don't think Martin got wrapped up in time. And Finland Select, third place in the tournament. D Las Vegas will end up with fourth place in the tournament, and the guys trading some high fives here in the line. But wow, Daniel, we asked for a good one. We got it.
And 93-91 was the final score. Came down to the last couple minutes. Some big threes by Devin Martin. Couple big shots late by Jermichael Hawkins to make it a game. But just a good leak-out pass, avoiding the foul. Ended it 93-91. Third place awarded to Finland Express. Now in this last game, we got some fun.
Yeah, we're having some fun, and Lewis Lofton doesn't like some of the calls that were made here down the stretch. And, you know, at this point in the game, officiating's tough, and I'm sure the guys that are going back to the side room here at the Doolittle Community Center where the refs have made themselves home are going to redo and look over this tape. But that's all we got for you. My name is Sam Cooper, and the man to my right was Daniel Gilman. And final score, 93 Finland Select, 91 D Las Vegas. Team in white, Finland Select, with the third place crown. Look down on the archives. We got one more fifth place game coming up.